Now then, I'm back. I've got lots of videos to do. Too many. Well, I was on vacation. I was going to buy one in England, but too pricey, man, too pricey. We've all heard of Friedman, haven't we? Have we? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, this is a Friedman pedal. Seem to be all the rage. Well, they're not quite all the rage because they're discounting them in Guitar Centre, which I thought was good, so I bought one. This one's a Friedman Dirty Shirley. Do you know Shirley at all? No? Well, don't worry about it. Let me tell you all about her. Here we go. What'd you get? Well, you get a Dirty Shirley. Thank you for choosing the Friedman Dirty Shirley. Its overdrive pedal packs the same intuitive controls as the amp, allowing you to dial in the perfect shade of rock in no time. Get out of here, it's just a pedal. Bass, treble, presence, volume, mid and gain. We know you know what these are. Yeah. Tight switch, side mounted, tailors the bass for punchier feel and sound. 9 to 18 volts, true bypass. Thanks very much. That's about it. So how's it come? It comes like this, and it's sort of bubble wrap. Yeah. In a nice case, sort of pullover case. You get it. Yeah. It ought to be gold plated for the money, but that's another story. What else we got in here? Oh, we got 4 feet. Yeah, see them. And we've got an internal gain adjustment, which we're going to have a look anyway. So I'll leave that aside until we get there, and I'll put that piece of junk back in there for now. So there it is. It's a particularly boring pedal. It's as light as a feather, which doesn't always bode well. It's got its little tight switch there. I'm not going to say anything about Dirty Shirley and tight. But here's the pedal. Let's take a bit of a closer look. I'm going to whip the back off so we can see what's really under the skirt. Hold on. Well, I've got the lid off. There it is. It's got a serial number on the inside stuck across there. It says DSOD removal voids warranty. Whatever the warranty is. Does it tell you anything about that? Let's take a look in here. Guess I've only got these two to fall back on. On the back of this one, it talks about a CE approval there. And it talks about, what does it talk about? It doesn't actually talk about much else. It says Friedman amplification built in the USA. And it says CE approved here. Which if you look at that, there's nothing on that. And here's the back, there's nothing on that. So there's only one little problem with this thing right from the off. And the first problem is that it has to say on the unit where it's made. And it doesn't. And it has to say on the unit that it's CE approved. And it doesn't. It says it on the box, but that's a fractal audio argument that doesn't wear really, because they're in America and I'm in Europe. So it's sort of like what it should be, but not quite. I really can't get over how light this thing is. It's really light. Well, let's go and have a look inside. Those are just the first views and first comments I'd make when I look at any pedal from anybody. And this one, well, in my opinion, falls a bit short right from the off because it's non-compliant. Okay, well, here I am. Fancy that. What have we got? We've got one main PCB. Probably got a load of components underneath it. Well, it better have because there's nothing on the top. I'm not going to strip it out. I don't think it's worth the effort if you want the truth. But it's a main PCB and it's got this adjuster at the top here that they were talking about in their instructions. There, see that? What you can adjust. This is an adjustment for the gain. The Friedman Dirty Shirley has got an internal trim pot preset to 10 o'clock, which says the middle. Well, 10 o'clock where I come from isn't the middle. Depends if you look at it upside down, by the way. To adjust the overall gain, to increase or decrease the overall gain, please follow these instructions. Use a Phillips screwdriver to remove the bottom cover. Yeah, use a flat-headed screwdriver to turn the trim pot. Counterclockwise to achieve less, or clockwise for more. Reinstall it. That's your instruction set. What else could you say? Well, there it is. From where I stand, that doesn't look at 10 o'clock. That looks like it's at 2 o'clock, doesn't it you? It's never been adjusted. So we've got a couple of wires that come off. We've got a couple of mounted sockets on the PCB. And just further down below, we've got one of those 9 pronged switches that connects to the main board. And that's about it, really. I guess if we zoom in a bit closer and have a look at the quality, it's been tested. It says so, yeah. And it was made in week 36, 2017. Well, I bought it in probably week 20, 2018. So it's been standing around for 9 months somewhere. I don't know where. But needless to say, they were in a sale. So I don't know if that's good or bad, whether that denotes goodness or badness. Anyway, you can see the quality's pretty fine in there. There's nothing that you'd really criticise in any way regarding the build. The build's nice, and the PCB looks well enough made. Track size is reasonable, and so on and so forth. And soldering looks a bit bodgy though, doesn't it, on that switch? Probably done by hand later. But there you go. So I'm going to put the lid back on it, and we're going to flip round to the other side so we can have a look at the controls. That sounds like a plan. Hold on. Here I am round the front. The only thing is, it's a little bit scary, this is, because there really is little to tell you. We've got a bass, a treble, a mid, a volume, a gain, and a presence. And round the side there's this little switch that says tight. That's about it. We've got the Dirty Shirley logo and the Friedman logo, and a button to turn it on and off. We've got in at that side and we've got out at this side, and it's a true bypass pedal, and that's about it. How boring's that? Well, of course, it's never going to be what it says it is. Let's go back up top and talk about that for a few seconds, because, yeah, there's a lot to be learned, I guess. Well, I'm back up top. Hardly worth going looking, really, but there you go. That's life. Well, there it is. Friedman Dirty Shirley, and we'll get to hear it in a moment. This cost me, I think it was about $170 plus tax, and I think they were about $200 plus tax, something like that. It's a little bit of discount from Guitar Centre, I think it was. Might not have been, but it was one of them. Seemed to have it discounted everywhere I went, so this particular one, some of the other ones that Friedman make weren't discounted. So that might lead me to conclude that they're either not selling many of them, or they've got an overstock of the product or whatever, and hence some discount, because they don't give you discount in the music business much these days, do they? No, they don't. What's that? So there's the box, there's the pedal. But one thing I just wanted to talk about with pedals, in particular this one, don't think for 1 second that you are going to end up with a Friedman Dirty Shirley amplifier from buying this pedal. Get out of here. Friedman might tell you that. The shop might tell you that. But Tony here, I'm telling you, that's no Friedman Dirty Shirley amp. Never will be, never was. And as regarding value, well, you could judge it by its tone, or you could judge it by its packing, or you could judge it by the name, or whatever you want to judge it by. But I bought it because I wanted to review it. I've never reviewed any Friedman equipment, and actually I can see why. You pay a lot of money and you don't get much for it. Or it doesn't seem that way. Maybe it'll be the greatest sounding pedal I've ever used. Or maybe it will to you. But more important than that, it needs to be the greatest sounding pedal to your audience, not to you. That's what matters, your audience. Not me or you, that audience, the people that come and watch it. Or if you're recording, well, I guess the producer, he'll tell you whether it's any good. Yeah. So that's my first foray into Friedman. It's going to come up any second now. But I was most surprised that a company like that didn't actually abide by all the rules as you're supposed to, you know, like the country that it's made actually on the device, especially for the sort of money that it costs, because Friedman equipment, I don't think any Friedman equipment is particularly cheap, is it? Yeah, it's just knocked off on a machine. This isn't handmade, I doubt. Looks to me like machine made. There you go. So that's going to come up anytime now. Don't forget to visit www.TonyMckenzie.com. I probably won't put this one on the website, even if I was to go back to the website doing all the stuff. And it is what it is. It might sound awesome, and if it does, then I'll put it on the website. But if it doesn't sound awesome, you've seen me review one, you've seen inside it, you'll hear it yourself, then you conclude yourself whether it's actually worth buying or it isn't. I mean, there are so many of these different pedals these days to do with overdrives. This one's trying to be standing out to be different by being, oh, this is a Dirty Shirley pedal. It gives you that information, gives you that thought that it's like the amp, that it's the amp. No. There are others here. This is an old pedal. Yeah. Was it any good? Of course it's good. This is also, here it is, full tone, made in California. And I think that one suffers from some of the same things too, but that's another story. We're going to review that later, not in this video. So it's coming up now. That's what I paid for it. Hope you like it or not. And put down there whether you like the pedal or you don't, from what you see, and whether you think it's worth the money. Maybe I'll put one of those little things, tick this box. Is it worth the money, or is it great, or is it this? Yeah, maybe I'll do that. It'd be nice to know what other people think of this pedal. By the way, I haven't looked at a single review of this pedal from anywhere else, and I think that's a good thing, because when you look at anywhere else, often they are people that are either given the pedal or they're selling it. I don't do that. So until next time, it's coming up now. Thanks for watching. Get out of here. I'm back. Well, I never went anywhere, did I? I recently reviewed the 65 amps here. This thing here. Put it on standby a minute. But the review's not actually now about the 65 amps Ventura. It's all about a Friedman pedal. Here it is. You'll know that if you watch the rest of the video. And this one's a Friedman Dirty Shirley. It says built in the USA and all the rest on the box. However, it doesn't say that on the pedal. In fact, it doesn't have any things on it that it should, maybe. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these bass mids and trebles all at about 12 o'clock, presence at 12, the tight turned off, the volume about 10 o'clock, and the gain about 2 o'clock. Like that, if you can see it. Don't worry if you can't. I'll put a picture up there. Yeah, so you can see the settings I've currently got. Now the first thing you've got to be aware of is that this thing doesn't take batteries. So if you're like me, you need another power supply plugging in somewhere, a wall wart no doubt, to power the darn thing. Well, that's okay, I guess. Let's turn that back. So I'm going to turn on and you can get an idea of the tone just as it is. Everything's set to clean as I can get it. Overall, a very nice tone for what it is. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to put this monster in front of it. I'm going to keep the volume down. Turn it on. I've got the volume about, it's about, I don't know, 8 o'clock. I can hear the difference straight off. Well, it's not that loud. I'm going to turn it up so you get a good idea of where the tones are coming from. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, that tone is coming from this. You heard it before, it's all pretty much flat. It's on the London setting and this non-solo or solo mode. So it's about as basic as it can get, really. The back of the guitar off can sound very nice. It's not as jangly. To be honest, to me it sounds rather nasally. So let's see if we can change that a little bit. Very nasally. Let's have a bit of mid on it. A bit more volume, a bit more gain. I can hear it hissing by now. It's having a hissy fit. So we've done that. Let's take the treble off a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Oh, and by the way, the settings for that sound you just heard are up there. Yeah. Sure you get the idea. So let's move a bit further forward and flip in this tight. What else can I do? Flip the tight in, keep everything else as it is, whip the gain up a bit higher. Let me turn the volume in, just the gain. Let's see what we get. It's on tight mode now, so a bit more gain as well. Man, what a difference. Just a bit more gain, tight flapped up there, and away you go. Now I'm not going to go on forever more about the Dirty Shirley and how great it is and things like that. You can hear it yourself. It does sound pretty good. But to be honest, it doesn't sound really that much different to me than most of the other pedals I've got, or a lot of the other pedals I've got. And so, for that reason, I think I gave it a 7 earlier in the review. I forgot what I give it. You know how it goes. But is it worth the money? That's one of the main things about it, because I can buy a lot of other pedals very similar to this. And to be honest, the cheaper, I think this was 180 US dollars. That makes it about, well, if it was in the UK, to be 180 pounds, no ifs or buts. That's the way they tend to work. So would I rate it as being something that I can't do without? I'm afraid not. The Friedman price, the list price, is something like $230 or something. So that's the review of it anyway. It sounds pretty good through an amp like this, but check it yourself. Look for other options, because you might find another option that's like about 30% cheaper. Won't have the name, it'll have some other name. Yeah, hope it helps. Now get out of here.